Lane Kiffin back with his wife. Bank on it. Will they get back together? Let's make that a poll question, if you don't mind.
All right. I'll say this. Will Lane Kiffin and his wife get back together? I will say ex-wife, excuse me.
Yeah.
And his ex-wife get back together. And we're going to say yes, no, and then wait, I'm not done. And then third option, they already are.
Oh, okay. Well, what's he doing trolling around stuff and throwing stuff? Because we know that Lane Kiffin likes to have fun with Twitter. So the headline says Lane Kiffin shares reconciled wife Layla inspecting Ole Miss home in sequin jeans. I don't need to see her sequin jeans per se, but she's wearing red there. She looks pretty good. Okay, so do you think he's getting back together with his wife?
I can't tell because I don't know if he is trolling or because he loves to troll or if he's genuinely putting them back together. So recently,
Putting what back together?
Putting their relationship back together.
Right.
So back in December, I'm just going to share a picture with you guys real quick. You guys tell me, because this is what Lane Kiffin shared back in December, is a picture of him with Layla. Look at that. Look at the way she's looking at him.
She seems to like him. She seems to adore him.
She does, right? And then just to go up, this is what he shared on an Instagram story and tagged Ole Miss football with Layla out. You know, they're outside. She's got some hot mom jeans on. And so I'm just saying. So here's the question. And I guess this is the bank on it we'll go to. Are they back together, or does Lane Kiffin do this to troll?
Let me go ahead and tell you, if they're house shopping, they're getting back together.
You think they're getting back together?
Yes. I mean, let's be honest, Caleb. I mean, it's one thing if you're dating or something along those lines, or it's one thing if you maybe, I don't know, feel lonely and hook up. But it's another thing when you're shopping for houses.
That is very true. That is very true. And Layla had visited the coach to check out his Mississippi home, according to Sports Illustrated. And which is a really weird thing to say. The SI excerpt says the two have rekindled their love since being divorced in 2016. And yeah, basically that picture, the Ole Miss football picture, was a picture showed of her checking out the home. So all I'm saying is that someone said here was his response. Someone tweeted to him on X that it was awesome that he and Layla had reconciled. The tweet was awesome, Lane reunited with Layla, and Knox tops anything else you may accomplish. Now you can journey together. Don't stop believing. And Kiffin responds, "Thank you," with the smiley emoji. So
bank on it. Brought to you by Commercial Bank. Are the Kiffins getting back together?
Commercial Bank is your neighborhood bank. What makes us different from other banks? We understand that every customer has unique opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. We don't expect you to fit into the same box as the next person or business. Whether it's purchasing a home, saving for your child's future, or planning for your next vacation, we're with you every step of the way to navigate life's big decisions.
Okay. He may get back together with his wife, but it's not going to stick.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to stick.
I mean, come on. Eventually, what's going to happen is there's going to be another hot little co-ed that he's going to fall for. I don't know. Or maybe he's matured. Maybe also this is a PR move to say I have matured and I'm ready to be a head coach at a bigger school. Maybe Florida looks at this and says, "Oh wow, this guy's settled down." I don't know if he has or not.
See, Mississippi's one thing, because Mississippi, by the way, just so y'all know, Mississippi's got a lot of hot girls. The problem is there aren't a lot of good-looking guys in the state of Mississippi. Most of them are overweight and struggle with their health, and just every health problem you can think of is in Mississippi. So Mississippi has an amazing ratio of hot girls to hot guys, which favors Lane Kiffin, right?
Unsung says, will Layla be happy in Mississippi?
Yes, she won't. Here's the thing. She won't be tempted to cheat on Lane Kiffin in Mississippi because there's nobody to be tempted with. Whereas Lane Kiffin will be severely tempted to cheat on
I think happy as in, does she like the local grocery store? Does she like her house? That sort of happy, not happy with Lane.
I'm just saying, I'm throwing it out there. Here's the problem if you go to Florida. Both genders look pretty good in Florida. So, particularly University of Florida. University of Florida's got really hot girls. And the campus, not the surrounding area, but the campus, they are not those jort-wearing Jimmy Buffett like, Margaritaville.
Jimmy Hoffa, maybe.
I almost said Jimmy Hoffa. I mean, they're not the jort-wearing Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville people. Okay, they're actually pretty good looking.
I'm gonna offer you this, okay? If you can take this for what it's worth. Lane Kiffin and I had a brief discussion right before COVID. Did you know Florida has 2 beat reporters that work for the school and they cover the University of Florida? So they don't ask the hard hitting questions like, why is such and such, getting suspended? It's just down at the bottom, not available.
Basically, Urban, how hard was it on your conscience? How much of a decent person are you for looking out for these players that were just, needed some guidance?
Exactly. I think it was a little after Urban, but nonetheless, you make a great point. Here's what I believe will happen is that okay. So Lane and I had a conversation about me possibly working for Ole Miss. I don't think I've ever told you this, have I?
I did not know that. No.
Okay. And then COVID hit, and then boom, there goes the world. I mean, literally like the next day after I spoke to their athletic director. So I believe that he's always looking for promotion. And I believe this is promotion. And when it came down to it, and it was partly because of COVID, he never really pushed hard. He could have pushed his athletic director, Keith Carter, I believe is his name.
What you're saying is he's getting back together with his wife because he wants to sell the family lifestyle for the next head coaching job.
Maybe. But here's the other thing about Layla and having that much money. You can go anywhere you want to. Oh, I forgot to tell my rest of my Lane story. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So I called him and I was like, yeah, so, I'm just wondering, is this going to work out or not? And he goes, I don't know right now. I'm sitting by the pool. And I'm like, it's February. When did COVID hit? February, March, somewhere in there?
February of 2020. Yeah.
Okay. And I was like, you're sitting by the pool in Oxford? And he goes, no, I'm in Boca Raton. And I said, wait, shouldn't you be working? And he goes, listen, if you had a chance to work from Boca Raton or Oxford, where would you work?
I mean, I would pick Boca Raton.
I would too, but my point is he is about image, and I don't believe that he has any real interest in getting back with Layla unless she's just throwing herself at him.
Maybe he's saying to Layla, look, you have as much of a stake in my career as I do because she probably gets some alimony or something from Lane. And Lane's like, if you want to get more of my check, then we should fake this relationship so I can get a really good job that pays a lot more money at Florida or somewhere like that.
Yep. Now, Oxford isn't too far from Memphis. She can stay here.
Oh, Dylan wants Layla to stay with him. I mean, you should offer Dylan.
Memphis is a horrible town. All right.
Wow, so, Dave, you just had to do that to me.
I know. I just worked that in. David says Lane will be back in Knoxville before or after 2028. He's never coming back, guys.
He's never coming back. One, there are too many boosters, and you know this, Dave. You know them firsthand, that would just light their connections to the university on fire if Lane Kiffin came back to Knoxville.
All right. Okay. More likely to come back to Tennessee at some point, Lane Kiffin or Alex Golish?
Alex Golish.
I could see Golish getting red hot in South Florida with that talent, and things not work. Maybe Josh Heupel takes a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, or things don't work out for whatever reason. I could see Golish crawling on broken glass to get back to Knoxville.
Oh, I agree. That would be intriguing. Heupel could choose to leave for Oklahoma because if he has success, Oklahoma finally says, we're cutting ties with Bob Stoops. We're done with him. And I mean, that's still possible. So maybe, what if Hype was so successful that Oklahoma decides, we're kicking Bob Stoops out of our Ring of Honor. We're going to take his name down and everything. We're going to pretend he didn't exist, and we're going to make it all about Hype.
Let me ask you this. Is Lane Kiffin still a candidate for an elite job? I don't think he is because of the way things went down at Southern California, not because of the way things went down at Tennessee. These athletic directors know that business is business, but the way things went down at Southern California, I just don't believe that he's ever going to be a candidate for an elite job, a top 25 job.
I think Florida and LSU would both be willing to give him a call. Those two schools, more than anything. Now, Florida seems stuck with Billy Napier. I also think Florida, and maybe you know more about this than I do, Dave, since Urban Meyer, whatever you think about Dan Mullen, Billy Napier, Jim McElwain, whatever you think about these coaches, they were clearly looking for they were clearly looking to deviate from the toxic environment that Urban Meyer created. They've been working really hard to avoid that toxic environment ever since he left.
Yeah,
so maybe that's
why they hired detail-oriented, boring Billy Napier.
Exactly. But LSU, I think, would hire him. I know the only thing that might make them hesitate is the way Ed Orgeron left that program. And if Ed Orgeron's going to go hit on a booster's wife, Lane Kiffin is.
Now, here's what I was told. David speaks up there, and we appreciate that. I think Auburn would take Kiffin in a heartbeat.
Lane didn't want to go to Auburn.
Yeah, I was told that, and it's not by Lane, I want to be really clear, that the job was his if he wanted it. And he felt it was kind of an even job, and he liked his kids being in Oxford, and he didn't want to move his kids.
Put it this way. Auburn's probably a better job than Ole Miss. Is it a better enough job to leave Oxford for the city of Auburn? No, because the city of Auburn sucks. And Oxford's nice.
But you mentioned hot women earlier in the program. You know what hot women major in at Auburn, don't you?
MRS.
What does that mean?
Mrs.
Oh, yeah, married. I've never seen so many hot women with goofballs than when I covered a game in Auburn.
Well, yes, but you're right. It's hot women with goofballs at Auburn because Auburn has an engineering school. So it's goofballs who are going to get money. It's hot women with I guess daddy's son who's going to take over the car business in a few years at Ole Miss, isn't it?
Yes. And I got to share this. This is what David says. When I hit the lotto, Kiffin will be back in K-Town amongst the fans. There is more love than hate. Who would Tennessee fans rather have back, or do you want to save this for tomorrow? Bruce Pearl or Lane Kiffin?
Oh, let's save that for tomorrow. That's a good one.
That's gold, Jerry. Gold.
That's gold. By the way, I still can't. Dave, you got to cover the greatest year in Tennessee history because there was a year where Tennessee had Lane Kiffin, Bruce Pearl, and Pat Summitt all on campus at the same time.
Oh, and I remember thinking to myself, these are special times. I didn't know Lane Kiffin was going to leave, but I thought a young coach to enthuse the fan base because they had become rather bored and stale with Philip Fulmer. And then I thought Bruce Pearl is painting his chest. And then I believed Pat Summitt. Yeah, I remember walking around campus thinking it might not get any better than this. Now 99 was probably better, right? 98, 99.
Right, but the coaching personalities weren't there in 98, 99. Maybe Jerry Green was a personality, but it wasn't one that people loved. Because I think, and I've covered this recently, how weirdly good basketball recruiting is in the state of Tennessee for high school. Do you think part of that is the Bruce Pearl and John Calipari era? Just that Bruce Pearl Calipari rivalry. That's whatever you think of when they were both in the state of Tennessee. That's the two best personalities in college basketball in one state, isn't it?
It is true, but by the same token, I will give you this, and you would know Memphis better than me, but I know Nashville and Chattanooga have really, really good private schools, and nowadays they're when I was in high school, we got drubbed by Brentwood Academy, okay, in the state finals. Why? Mm-hmm. Because half their players were from Ohio. They could recruit. So now you can recruit, and I think they're going to put together the Division II level and just make it one so you can recruit even easier. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, for instance, the basketball player, I know for a fact that he skipped his last year in high school to go to a private school in Chattanooga. Baylor, for instance, they have, I've been told 40% of their population are foreign because people come from all over the world to go to Baylor to then get their college degree and go back. So you'd know Memphis better than I do, but I think that's part of the reason the basketball got so much better.
That makes sense. Actually, most of the state championships, if you ever notice, whenever you watch state championships in high school basketball, it's a school from Memphis where a coach rolled the ball out and told the athletes to go play against a private school, one of those private schools you name across the rest of the state. And it's like, which one's going to win? Is it going to be the raw athletes from Memphis or these guys that the private schools got? Yeah, no, that's pretty much how the state championships work. That's every year.
Did I ever tell you how we got drubbed by Penny?
Oh, y'all played Treadwell?
Yeah. Played Treadwell, and it wasn't the finals. It was like the sub-state or something, but it was in Nashville or Cookeville or wherever they have it. And Powell High School was up by about 12, 14 maybe at half. And then Penny decided he was just going to shoot a bunch of threes and dunk. And it was over. I mean, it wasn't even close at the end of the game. It was pretty brutal.